Uh-oh. Supergroup.
It's time for reaction. Welcome in. Old school nerd.
I usually try to avoid them because rarely does it not confuse me or give me some kind of weird vibe about it. Because supergroups are usually various members of other very large artistic groups. They get together in a hodgepodge of some sort of thing. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes it just shouldn't have happened. And sometimes they're really, really good, but no one's ever heard of them. Case in point. One of my favorite supergroups of all time, nobody really even knows about. Chickenfoot. Look them up. But, so what happened here, Christopher King, known for his amazing ideas, comes together. Hello, good sir. One for the week. Please react to Sons of Apollo. Goodbye, Divinity. All right, Chris. Hopefully your wife is doing well. Chris, sick or something, taking care of her. Hopefully she's doing well, buddy. See, I care. All right, like and subscribe to this video. Give us a thumbs up on this one. Subscribe to the channel. The link to this video will be in the description below. Check us out on oldschoolnerd.com. It's got all of our social media posts, the Patreon channel for those who want to help support the stream, and we appreciate all of you, and the merchandise store. Sons of Apollo. I know that Mike Portnoy's in here, the drummer. There's multiple other accomplished artists from other bands that are together in this Sons of Apollo supergroup collaboration. Great. I'm not going to know who they are. Why? Remember, guys, been out of the scene for a while. So hopefully this is something I'll enjoy. The song is called Goodbye Divinity, and let's check this out. Fully expecting this one to be blocked. It is a Vivo video, so that means that YouTube hates me. And the algorithm will say, stop, no, don't be an idiot. Sorry, being an idiot is just what I do. Nice. There's a good, remember I told you that sometimes when you have collaborative supergroups, it can be a negative. But one of the amazing positives of supergroups is sometimes supergroups occur because multiple musicians need something fresh to really invest their creativity into. Because a lot of times when a group has a certain sound, they have to stay within that sound. And most musicians are artists. Nobody does it like they're working a regular 9-to-5 job. So that need to be creative has to be expanded. Sometimes when you're in a popular group, you're stuck into that group sound. So sometimes you branch off, get with other artists and say, dude, I'm thinking about doing something unique. This is an example. Let's enjoy it. A lot of double necks. Also, if you notice the double neck guitar, the bottom end was fret, the top end was fretless. That's where you get a lot of those slide notes, and artistically, double thumbs up. So let's go. this is an exercise in artistry. Please do not be confused. Mike Portnoy is going to literally do fill rolls for the next 25 minutes, accenting everything that the keyboardist is doing. Now, I'm sure I should know all these guys' names, but I don't. Okay? Go ahead and put it in the comments. Call me an idiot. Say, how do you not know this guy? I don't know. Maybe because I don't carpool with my fucking kids with him. I don't know. I mean, I know Mike Portnoy because I'm a drummer. And I'm sure that after everyone goes, hey, the keyboardist is this guy, the guitarist is this guy, the bass player is this guy, I'm going to go, oh, cool. I don't recognize them because they're old now. But despite all of that, I totally get why there's a double neck guitar. Fretted guitar on the bottom, fretless on the top, two totally different tones, and you want to be able to go back and forth between them mid-song, and it's awesome. What you don't normally see a lot of times is a double neck bass. We've seen many times, of course, Geddy Lee and Rush and quite a few other people where, Marco sometimes too, where for Geddy Lee, he had a guitar on the top and a bass on the bottom. A lot of times you'll see, for instance, guitars, double neck guitars. For this instance, the guy's guitar setup is fretless on the top, fretted on the bottom. Totally cool. Classic arrangement, made famous by Jimmy Page, and of course then reiterated with with Coheed and Cambria's Welcome Home video, right? Where you have the 6-string on the bottom and the 12-string on the top. Classic setup. Pretty iconic. For the bass, though, you'll see a lot of basses with a double neck bass where it's not double necked bass for the need of you need two bass guitars. Normally you have bass on the bottom, guitar on the top. However, I have seen where Tuoma's had bass guitar on the bottom and an acoustic setup bass on the top, or a guitar on the top acoustically set for himself. This is the first time I've seen in a video where you have a bass player literally have 4-string bass, 4-string bass, one on top of another. Now normally you'd be like, well, that's redundant. What's the point of that? Well, here's the thought process behind it. And this is just me guessing. I don't know. Why? I'm not the damn guitar tech for the guy. But the two reasons why you would do this normally would be the string compositions are different. Maybe the strings are in two different keys. He may have a starting with a G here, maybe starting with a D here. We don't know. It could be any configuration. The other reason why you would do it is if both string compositions are the same, keyed the same, but you want to have two unique bass sounds in the same song without using a pedal. You understand what I'm saying? Or the sound is completely so far away that you need multiple pedal taps to change it over, and you don't have that kind of time. You want to be able to just enjoy yourself. So this end here would be plugged in to different pickups to a different set of pedals for a different effect separately from this one here. Does that make sense? So when you have a double neck bass right here where it seems like it's redundant, it's either stringed differently or it's completely arranged effect-wise differently. And the reason why he needs it double necked instead of just a standard one is that his transition between the two different sounds is so quick, there's no way for him to just pedal it out. Cool? Cool. Let's continue. Really good. Okay. It's a really catchy tune. Um, there was something about the guitarist that was really hitting me in the face. And for a while, I was really taken aback by it because at first I thought the reason why I thought I knew who the guitarist was because for some reason I kept thinking, oh, well, he just looks like Steve Vai. That's why I'm thinking I think I know who he is because he's got like a Steve Vai kind of happen, a vibe to him and everything. No, I just recognized him all of a sudden because I've done a reaction to him before. Well, not a reaction to him, but a reaction to someone he did some work with. Leo Maracaioli on a cruise ship playing guitar. Oh, it's Bumblefoot. Yes, everyone knows him as Bumblefoot. I don't know his real name, but his name is Bumblefoot. I do reckon it's Ed Sheeran. For those who don't know who he is, he was in the group Mr. Big back in the 90s. Nobody really cares about that. But when you're talking about playing with some of the best musicians of all time, he's played on Steve Vai albums. He's one of the best bass players that is well known for being a bass player, but not necessarily well known for being in a giant band. Does that make any sense? Don't recognize the singer. Odds are he was a singer for another band, but I don't recognize him. I know I've seen the keyboard player somewhere, but I don't recognize him. So the ones that I do recognize for sure, Bumblefoot for sure, mainly because I did a reaction to Leo, and he played on a Leo song on a cruise ship. I remember that. Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater. Holy crap, now I know. It's the keyboardist from Dream Theater. He was in Dream Theater with Mike. I knew when I said, oh, Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, oh, the keyboardist. See? Now, the lead singer, I still don't know. Someone's going to have to help me with that. I don't know who he is. Yeah, he just seems like an older gentleman, like in his mid-50s. So he's probably been in a few bands that I may not recognize. Remember, most of these guys are popular when I was not in metal music. Okay, so don't blame me that I don't know who they are just by looking at them. But I do know one thing. There's a reason why they're a supergroup. Come on, you can hear it. You almost want to look at the sheet music for this because I got to be honest with you. Between Ed Sheeran and Bumblefoot, and of course the keyboardist from Dream Theater, sorry, can't remember your name, and Mike Portnoy, I'm pretty sure it looks like Braille. It's just like, yeah, follow it. Can't. It's probably like, it's all over the place. It's great. I'm going to look it up while I watch. Wow. Okay, the keyboardist, Derek Sherinian. He did a little stint in Kiss for a little bit on tour, Planet X, Dream Theater from 94 to 99. That's how I know him. That's how I recognize him. He was in Dream Theater when I was like just getting out of metal, but I was still into like, yeah, it makes total sense now. The Mike Portnoy connection. The lead singer, his name is Jeff Scott Soto. Jeff Scott Soto. Oh, okay. He was in Talisman for a long time. Then he was briefly in Journey for a little snippet, either just before they found Arnell at some point, in that little part between Steve Perry in one of the little transitions. Yeah, he was in there. But a Talisman, okay, totally makes sense. Of course, you've got Mike Portnoy and Billy Sheehan. Billy Sheehan has played in so many different things. Billy Sheehan, again, let me click his name. Listen to this list, dude. You want to talk about a list that Billy has played in? Okay. Steve Vai, okay. David Lee Roth. When David Lee Roth did that run with Steve Vai, right? Mr. Big, Nason, the Winery Dogs. Okay. Guitar Player Magazine 5 times for lead bass playing style. He's known for chording, two-handed tapping, right-hand 3-finger picking technique controlled by the feedback. Dude, UFO, David Lee Roth, Mr. Big, Richie Kotzen, Marty Friedman, Tim Ripper Owens, oh God, it just goes on. Gus G, Philip Alazamo, fuck you. Kerry King, Scott Ian, The Sons of Apollo, Octavision. He's had, his discography is as long as it goes, because whether he's part of a band or something, if you're a band and you don't have a bass player or you need some special bass stuff, call him. Call Sheenan, because he'll come into the studio and whip some stuff up that you're not ready. Kind of like Mike. Mike Portnoy does the same thing. People don't realize that. It's kind of funny. People don't realize that one of Coheed and Cambria's biggest albums they ever put out, the drums were not even played by a member of Coheed and Cambria. Taylor Hawkins came in, played on our studio album. So you'd be surprised, some of these amazing musicians that are known for being in certain bands are also known for their amazing musicianship, to where sometimes you could be a band that's going through a transitional period where they lose a longtime member, or there's something lacking and they want to do something else. They'll bring in one of these musicians. Mike Portnoy has played on a lot of people's albums. Taylor Hawkins has played on a lot of people's albums. Mr. Sheehan has played on a lot of people's albums. Okay? Bumblefoot's been all over the place. So when you're thinking about a supergroup, is this like Velvet Revolver, where you have Duffy and like all these members of super huge bands? No, this is a super group of musicians, a super group of people that are artists beyond what they're known for. Sons of Apollo. It makes sense. And it also makes sense why I didn't know who some of them were, because they've been around so long. And some of the bands they're in are not Metallica. They're not, Kiss or, Van Halen. Household names that everyone outside of metal would know? No. But are they known for being amazing? Yes. Wow. while they're playing the outro, which is amazing, how many times in your lifetime or your time in your life where you're listening to music, was Mike Portnoy's drums the least elaborate thing in the song? Think about that. Mike's playing something very reserved for him because he's in a groove, right? He's in the groove with the lead singer. They're really setting up this storytelling. And if you pay attention, keyboard, bass, guitar, all over the hell place. Like, it's like a swarm. They should have called the name of the band should be Swarm of Bees, because that would be, if you tried to follow what was going on with with the bass player, guitarist, and keyboardist. When Mike Portnoy is the most reserved musical composition in an arrangement, holy hell. Wow. 2020. That's pretty cool, man. But the thing about it is like, it's the whole situation is very much overwhelming. Like, when you try to follow this band, it's almost impossible. There's just so much stuff going on. Now, is seeing them as a group together, is it something that you're like, this is something that I want to be a part of all the time? Yeah, but man, look at when you think about what's going on with this band, you just don't even realize you got to listen to it 4 or 5 times in a hope to hear everything. Normally, when you have Sheenan, okay, the keyboard player from Dream Theater, Mike Portnoy, Bumblefoot, any one of those 4 guys could be in, think of the bands they played in. And at any time, they could take over a song and just lift a song into the stratosphere, and you're lost for about 3 minutes listening to them. But you put all 4 of them together? Like I said at the end, just a few minutes ago, I said, when was the last time Mike Portnoy's drumming was the least elaborate thing in a song? You've never seen it. Well, now you have. God, it was so good. And I know I'm going to catch hell because I don't remember half the guys' names. Sorry. It happens. Okay? I'm old. I forget things. And remember, I wasn't in music for the last 20 years. So I was going to say give me a break, but let's be honest, it's YouTube and nobody gets a break here.